All right, guys. So welcome to Rockland Revolution, guys. We're gonna be tonight with a special guest. You can hear in the background right now, Anastasia Elliot. I turned the background, by the way, guys. So let me join here in a few minutes with Anastasia Elliot. For those of you guys. They don't know anything her new one is called Bones. All right, we're gonna. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we can get her on here quickly. I think we got her.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Definitely hearing you back there. Loving that hair.
Thank you. I love your hair too.
I know, right? Thank you for having me on the show, by the way.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad we could finally make it happen. It's been in the works for a while.
So, guys, welcome to Rockland Revolution. My name is Rick Phoenix. Today, I have a very special guest, Miss Anastasia Elliot.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Coming on to the show. Thank you. Definitely, it's a big honor. I came across your music. I think it was like an ad on Facebook, and I mean I was just still getting everything ready with my show here, and I said, hey, she definitely caught my eye, my attention, and I heard the music. Definitely very artistic. Like I love that. Definitely something different, and the music is great. Let everybody know who you are and what you do and everything for those people out there that don't know who you are.
I'm Anastasia Elliot. I'm a pop rock artist. I'm classically trained in opera and piano, and I love infusing symphonic touches into rock music with catchy pop melodies. And I'm a very visual artist, so I love creating immersive worlds around the music that I create for my fans. So it's music and music videos and lots of extra content and cool live show experiences, and I'm always thinking of ways to make things extra awesome for everybody. So that's like
excellent.
A little bit.
Now the name. Is that your natural, like, born given name, or did you get that for stage, or how did that come about?
It is my name. I always say my parents named me for this career, because like you're not gonna be like an accountant if you're named Anastasia. Like I don't know. They birthed me for the stage. It's their fault.
Yeah.
It's their fault. But I'm named after both of my grandmothers.
There's so many questions that just came about right now, but the main thing to start, said you classify your music as what would that be?
I say pop rock because
little
then
mix.
I sit in between the two, but this first record I think sits in pop rock. I really hate putting anything into a box or into a genre box. Because I love to play with so many different sounds. I'm just inspired by sound in general. So it's a very multi-genre record, and the new music we're making that will be later this year and next year is even more pushing into the multi-genre aspect of myself. So I call myself multidisciplinary, but if we had to put me in a box, I think pop rock at least gives me some way to move around.
Yeah, but definitely room to experiment and go into another place of music if you want to.
Another thing I could say maybe was art rock. Art rock is the other I really could give it, because I love the theatrical elements of.
Where did it all begin? Like for music and everything. I know you said you're classically
I started playing
trained.
piano when I was 4. I started taking classical lessons and then opera when I was around 9, and loved classical music a whole lot, but then when faced with the decision to go to music college or not, I was not the person that was going to go and play by the rules and be in music school, so I was able to take all of the training that I had and do something different with it. And I owe everything to that training, just as a vocalist, or just being able to do vocal acrobatics and in a healthy way. And yeah, I think classical music is still what I listen to like relax and for fun.
What are some of your influences besides classical music? I know I saw like there was like a little ad,
yeah,
and you kind of were throwing the. That was cool. That was super creative, and I know you said one of my favorites. I believe you said Amy Lee, right? Was it Evanescence?
I loved Evanescence.
Definitely kind of a similar path there with that with opera and piano and stuff.
I loved her so much. I remember she was one of my first records that I got to purchase, and I want to say that was around like 5th grade when the Evanescence album came out with the full cover, and I loved her because it was like it was a new sound, and it was something that showed, I think, that a more dramatic and classical voice could make it in mainstream music and be loved. And that's something, you know, people like me that want to be more dramatic singers in the mainstream like struggle with convincing people, especially on the business side, that it's something that people would want to listen to. But she was one of, I think, the trailblazers for mainstream pop to have some kind of like theatrics after the, you know, Britney era and all of that, like when it kind of was pushing more towards
But the rock, other instruments do you play? Do you play guitar or anything like that? I think you said piano, right?
I do play guitar. I'm definitely not as good of a guitarist as I am a pianist, but I can play guitar. I kind of have to choose between my cool pointy nails or guitar, so it kind of goes back and forth whether I'm playing guitar or not, but I've been really missing it, and now I'm like, okay, it's time to get rid of my nails so I can play again now that I'm in
So right now, you're working on more music.
We are. This first album is about to go out, so we've been working really hard on that, but we also have an EP that we're working on for later in the year and the next concept album. So it's been very, very busy on the writing front.
And I mean, you're based out of Nashville, correct? So I mean, that's a perfect place for you to make some great music, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about you know, Nashville and in general, the whole area.
Yeah.
A lot of artists go out there.
I think I have mixed feelings on Nashville, but there's lots of us here that are trying to make change here and bring an alternative rock sound here. It's been an uphill climb, but we've had a lot of big wins lately, and I actually moved here just because I loved writing here so much, because I'm very music, melody, composition driven, and I loved coming here and pairing myself with the country songwriters who were just storytellers. And a lot of them had never worked on stuff as left of center as mine, and it just was like the most perfect fun pairing. And that was a long time ago though, before much pop or rock was here, and now there's a lot of cool artists and stuff here. But the next 2 records I pretty much have exclusively written with my band, which is different than
you have a band actual or is it like just, you know, you hire musicians to come on tour?
No, I have a band. They're my guys. They're
cool. Shout them out. Let us know who's in the band.
My guitarist is Spencer Burchard, and he just got the coolest custom purple guitar you have ever seen. It's coming soon, and I can
Is it a Les Paul?
I know the guy who made it is in the UK. It's custom built, so
okay.
I don't know.
You'll get back to me on that one. Yeah. I have tons of guitars.
I will.
So,
I have a picture of it. And my
cool.
drummer is Brandon Saluski, and he's been with me a very long time.
Shout out to them.
They're amazing.
So right now, are there any plans for shows or anything like that besides, I know you're working on the new music, but are you still kind of doing some shows, or is it kind of like, you know, until we're done with everything?
No, shows are I just love it. It's like getting to take all of the behind the scenes hard work and see it come to life. And we just played a show last week here in Nashville that was awesome, and it was It was kind of my first time getting to hear a lot of people sing my songs back to me, like the ones that I released. That was
Oh yeah.
just like,
I
that was
think
a moment.
that's the most rewarding part out of anything. If you can, make a record and then, go out there, perform, and then the people singing back to
Yeah,
you is definitely an amazing
yeah.
moment.
I mean, I'm a very affirmation driven person, and a lot of the times when, like, with social media and like this kind of new age of music promotion, like, it can be really hard to promote yourself online and to like not get a lot of feedback. And you are getting feedback, but it's different. It's different kind of feedback. And then
Yeah.
when you're playing live, it's like you can really see that like certain things were working, or like what people loved about certain things. You can like see it. So we aren't
Definitely.
playing in Nashville for a while, but I'm playing an emo night. I'm singing in an emo night coming up, and then I'm doing a mental health songwriters round. But we're working on a East Coast tour right now for this. And
in your set, do you incorporate any like covers?
yes,
maybe?
we do. On in the last show we covered Nine Inch Nails' "Hurt."
Oh, cool.
That was one
That's
of
cool.
my favorite covers we've probably done. Sometimes we'll play "Tainted Love," our version of it, and then sometimes.
Yeah.
I think those are the two. Oh, we did merge a Rage Against the Machine song, "Kill a Man," with one of my songs as an opener. A couple.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we'll work in songs sometimes, but
Cool.
Hurt was probably one of my favorites.
So do you ever have plans of doing maybe like a guest or like a collaboration with somebody? I think I did see a song. I heard it.
When I did with Pandas.
It was like, I think so. It was like a kind of like more like a dance type
the
mix.
Shattering.
Very cool.
Thank you.
You had my guitar guy, his name's Sam. Shout out to him. He heard your music. He's very, very picky, and he liked it.
Thank you. Thank you,
I was surprised.
Thank you,
Just
Sam.
like, oh yeah, I can get into this, and that's because he's into like black metal and everything. But when you put the dance track, he actually liked it. I was like, what? I was like, you know what I mean? Like it was just a shocker. But that's a good sign.
We actually have a lot of metal fans that like us, and we've found a lot of people in European communities in the Netherlands. I've been on like a heavy metal station there, and I think it's because the music that I make is very like, if you really were to take it apart, it's very complex, and there's a lot of intricacies that are in there, and a lot of layers in the vocals, and the vocals are strong. And so I think metal
super strong.
People love intricate music and smart music, and so I think that it's maybe lighter than what they would typically listen to, but I think that they see that in the music, and that's what draws them to it. It's also very high concept, and there's a lot of rabbit holes to go down within it. So our next two projects are definitely gonna lean more towards their direction. I'm so excited about it because the heavier songs in our show are my favorite ones to play. So we will be leaning in here.
Very
next
cool.
Go around.
We got Derek Jones.
Oh, that's my.
I love Anastasia Elliot. I like literally love that shit. What the shit out of her. I just went to her show the other day and she rocks. Erica Rice says hi.
Hi, Erica.
So for everybody joining us right now, Rockland Revolution right here, we have Miss Anastasia Elliot from Nashville on the show. She's letting us know a little bit about her and definitely her plans for 2023. Definitely, it was a big shock that when I reached out to them that they actually accepted to come on. I was just like, wow, so it's a real big honor, for real. Definitely beautiful voice, strong voice, guys. So you guys definitely should check her out. Where can they check you out? I know it's all types of, but is there a certain place that hey, check me out here?
And I know I'm supposed to say Spotify, like obviously go on there and follow me, so you can not miss a release. But the way that I create music is so visual that I love when people go to YouTube and watch the music videos paired with the audio. because it is a concept record that is meant to be listened to from start to finish, and all the videos weave together and tell a story. So YouTube, but Instagram is probably the platform I'm the most active on and answering a lot, and Facebook, Twitter, Apple Music, any of the streaming services. And then we have a private Facebook community called the Purple Cult that's about to be a lot more active and fun. I've been planning a lot of fun stuff for them, so definitely come and join our group. It's meant to be a supportive place for creatives of all kinds, and even if you don't consider yourself a creator, it's a place to come and get inspired and support creatives.
Have any like merch and stuff like that, like for your fans?
I do. We are actually.
I want a shirt.
You should have this shirt. I'm about to launch the first AR-enabled merchandise. So I have a T-shirt that comes to life, and it takes you to some secret content, and and a puzzle that's about to launch. That once you finish the puzzle, you can AR-enable it, and it takes you to some secret hoodies.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, hoodies and journals and all kinds of fun stuff. I love making merch. I'm about to launch a new collection, so yeah.
You guys look out for that, definitely. As part of the creative process for your music videos, I'm sure you probably have a big say-so and everything on it, because it's definitely, like you said, very visual, and that's so cool. What is like your inspiration?
I direct and I edit and I make sets and I make costumes and have a very small team of creatives that DIY everything with me. So it's really just about finding people that are strong where I'm weak, and also not being limited. Like, any idea that I have, it's never, oh, can we pull this off? It's always like, what do I need to learn? Like, what skills do I need to learn to make this happen? And so the first 5 that are out, I did not direct those, but I co-directed them and edited them and built the sets, and my ex and I made them. And then the 3 that I just shot recently that will be coming out with the album, I directed those, so that I'm so excited to put them out. It's
very cool.
Music videos are one of my favorite parts of the process, because writing music, I tend to write the visual idea before the lyrics usually. I tend to have the music first and make the vibe and then the melody, and then for me next comes the visuals and thinking about what the song makes me see, and then the lyrics are almost a way to describe the visuals that I see, even if the visuals then get tweaked for actually making the videos and pulling the story together in the end. Making visual concepts and music kind of go hand in hand to me. Like, if they happen at this time.
Cool. I love that. When you're in the studio, there's a question I've asked before to other artists, and personally, I have to go when I sing too. I have to like have light dim, and I put pictures or something like that, something visual for me to kind of feel it, kind of remember. Is there any type of ritual or anything that you do when you're about to record your home?
Yeah.
Is it tequila? Is it? No. I don't know. I'm just saying, like some people do, you know,
I'm thinking,
listen up.
I'm thinking about all the phases that I've been through, but now it's definitely. I love colored lights, and I need it dark usually, and I love hot tea. I used to drink whiskey when I'd sing, but I definitely don't do that anymore. Hot tea and definitely warm, comfy clothes. I like to be as comfy as possible. It's usually not the most like attractive of recording. Like I'm like no makeup, sweats. Like I just want to be the comfiest, coziest possible. Cool. But I think recording vocals is like the most intimate part of it. So I like to be cozy.
Exactly what you should do. You should be the most comfortable.
And I'm like a total weirdo when I'm recording. I think for me, good vocal performance comes from my hands. So when I'm recording, I'm always like doing this and like manipulating the sounds, like as I'm throwing things. Like I'm always like dancing and like I have to like move my body to get the best vocal performance. But for me, it's all in the
guys. Something you guys didn't know about it, right? Is there any plans for a new release or anything coming up soon?
Yes, the album.
You can let us know here on Rockland Revolution.
My first debut album, La Petite More, is coming in the next couple months. So we're shooting for an end of May release. So we're getting all of the last things in place for that, and hopefully should have an official announcement soon. But this album has been 10 years of my life, so the fact that it's coming out now is a big deal.
Is this your first official album then? Yeah, you have your whole life to write your first one, but then you go to the second one, it's kind of like, what?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, we've already got the second one done. Now we're producing it. So
okay, there you go, guys. There you go.
I wasn't actually planning on, like, making the second album this way, and it just happened. It happened, and it's awesome. And so we wrote all the songs now for the second one, and now we're starting to write the third.
There you go, guys. That's what you call, getting your stuff done. Like, that is awesome.
And I was in this last project. I've been in it for literally like 10 years, and so it kind of just got to the place where I was like, I just have to get it out. I mean, it's been through many industry ups and downs and industry heartbreaks and triumphs, like they do sometimes go through.
Does that help with the writing process for you? If anything like negative happens, like or you're going through something, is that better for you to write than something? I don't know.
I used to think that. I mean, my first album was made because of my plane crash, and so it's.
That's right.
The first song on the album, Crash Landing, I wrote before I was in the plane crash, and so the whole album was about exploring all the different phases of trauma healing that I went through to then get to a good place, and that was a very inspiring experience to me, and that kind of became my shtick as an artist, that I think that our biggest darkness and our worst experiences can be turned into greatness and into the thing that makes us unique if we can just harness it and learn our lessons from it and learn how to make it into something. Now I used to kind of think I needed to be going through hard shit or be really sad to create great art, and then that would stress me out. And now at this point, my second album that I'm writing is not, it definitely, I don't think I'll ever be able to avoid talking about darker themes, but there are more positive songs about it that are more in line with where I am right now in my headspace right now, but they're not corny.
I think definitely turning that negativity into positive.
I get that can say for record 3, it's gonna go back to darkness. So
well, if it's gonna be a little heavier, right?
And
that's gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good.
I like that going back and forth. Like I think that inspiration for me is different every day, and I just like I don't always, when I'm writing songs, I don't always think about what I'm gonna write about. It's more like letting the song come to me and music inspires me to make, and it's always different.
Definitely. I was in the studio today, and that happened to us, later to me. I didn't know what the song was about, and it kind of, I just let it take over, and it kind of, the lyrics started spilling out. I wrote something very, very personal, but very, it can relate to a lot of people, and it was just something that I didn't even think I would kind of put out there. It's not anything bad or anything, but it's just, it deals with death. I never thought I would write about something like that, but we're here now, and it's you gotta just let it out, whatever comes out, So
and I think sometimes the song knows best. The song knows better than we do if you can just let it come to you. I mean, for instance, when I wrote Crash Landing, we didn't know what we were writing about. We just like let the song come to us and we wrote about it, and like we were kind of just like, we don't really know, like this song is really cool, but like we don't know where this came from. And then it was like 2 months later that I was in an actual plane crash landing, and it was almost like we like maybe tapped into something. And I feel that way about a lot of things. Like a lot of the songs that I wrote are about
that's
relationships and things that I was in what I thought was a happy relationship at the time, but then now looking back on my art, I'm like, oh, my subconscious was really talking about the things I was going through and wasn't completely processed or wasn't like completely aware of, but my subconscious and whatever was pulling the song in was aware.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and sometimes it's scary to write something because, like the way you said, you wrote something and then it comes, I guess it comes or happens or something like that.
And there's no better manifestation technique than making art.
It's happened to me too, and it was like 10 years later, and I was writing about some certain thing, an album that I have, and certain things happen that are now that happened, in the world and this and that. It's like, what the hell was I? I had no idea that I would kind of tap into that. That was weird.
It is some kind of, I don't know, like it is some kind of channel that you can tap into. I mean, look at the writers of South Park. Like, how many of world events and crazy things have they predicted? Or the Simpsons. Not South Park. The Simpsons. Like, they've predicted so many things and like very accurately. And I think it's just like people that have that relationship with creativity and sit with her often. I think that it's just like being almost engaged into like the mesh of knowing.
Shout out to Mark from Chew and Ooh Show. You should actually we will see about getting you on his show. Very, very great show, Chew and Ooh Show. Just remember that. And definitely says, do you even get writer's block?
Yes, I do, definitely.
What do you do to like get out of the writer's block?
Since I'm a lot more music and melody driven than I am lyrically driven, and for me it takes a lot to get words flowing as I like talk like for me it takes a lot to get words flowing, so I kind of, if I'm struggling with words, I go back to the visuals and also the vibe of the song to like just feel if I'm even writing about the right topic. Sometimes I just step away. Like, I've definitely learned, like, if I've wrestled with something for a good bit and it's not coming, it's time to step away, and then I come back to it another day. Like, I'm not the kind of person that feels like a song needs to be done in a day. I will just keep working on it until it's perfect to me. And songs, they piece together differently. Like, there's some that come quickly and some that don't, and honestly, some of the ones that don't tend to be my bones. The song that we just released was one of the most painful writing sessions I'd ever been in. And I loved my co-writers a lot, but it was one of those songs that like I wrote the drum part first, the part before the chorus, and then the melody, and they wanted to change the melody, and it was just a song that I was so certain the melody was not going to be changed. I was like, this is the melody. It's the way that it is.
You kind of have to fight sometimes to say, hey, this is what
sometimes I'm more open to that, but like this one, I was like, I'm not open to it. I know this is great. And I also knew the feeling that I wanted the words to have, but nobody was nailing it in the room. None of us were. But so I was just like, no, it's not right yet. It's not right yet. I'm sure everyone hated me by the end of this session. And then we wound up coming back the next day and getting it. But even the next day, it was pretty painful getting it out. But usually when that happens, like even at the end of it, I know I was right to push or to say no. Like I know when things are in alignment and when they're working and when they're not. And I think
always go with your instinct.
I mean, there's songs that I have half finished that I haven't known what I want the rest of them to be, that I'll pick up months later and know what to do with them. So I think writer's block to me is less of a block and more sometimes like you just need to step away and come back to it at another point or find another way to connect to it.
Questions. We got Vicky How many songs have you written?
Um, for the first
Tons.
album, I wrote close to 300 songs for the first album to get to 12. And then this year, we've probably added a good 25. So it was a lot less songs to get to the second EP, but the first, my many first years of writing was really just taking time to figure out what my sound was going to be as an artist, and it takes time. Like, whenever people ask me when they've written like their first 10 songs and they're like, oh, how do you get in the studio and how do you do this? I'm like, don't write more songs. Like, you are nowhere near knowing who you are as an artist, and I promise that. Like, it's just gonna get better. You just keep writing,
When do you write lyrics, with an acoustic verse or with the whole band? I think I'll be in the studio, right?
I don't write lyrics acoustically a lot because for me, I'm very inspired by the tones and like sounds. I like to build a track vibe before I write melody and lyric, just because what I'm gonna write acoustically on piano would sound very different. Even if it's the same chords, the melodies that I'm naturally drawn to will sound way different than ones that had vibe to it. So it's not even necessarily that I'm trying to make the finished produced sound at the beginning, because some of my songs, like if you heard the demos for the album, some of them are like completely different genres than what I wound up producing them in at the end. It's more just about creating some kind of instrument bed that inspires me, and I don't put myself in the genre box at all when I'm writing. It's more just sounds that inspire, and then lyrics come after that. I mean, of course there's exceptions to that though. There are songs I've written acoustically and I love them. It just really depends on the song. But a lot of voice memos of me just banging on the keys and singing gibberish, and I have not written the lyrics to them yet, and I won't until I build
You ever
a
get that
vibe for
idea
them.
and you're like, call your phone and you're like leaving messages and just singing, like,
My voice
that's what I do.
notes are an absolute graveyard of ideas, and I keep telling myself one day I really need to just listen to them and organize them and delete the ones that are trash, because there's like over 900 right now that are just like,
wow.
Some of them, when I listen to them, I have no clue what I was even doing, because in my head it was like a finished track. There's one that I found not that long ago where I was just like banging on the counter and like humming something, and I was like, what is this? Like, in my head I know it was finished and it was so cool, and now I can't decipher it. So now when I have ideas in my head, like, I will go through the voice note and I'll sing all the instrument parts that I hear. So I'll sing like the vocal melody first, and then I'll sing the bass line, and then I'll sing the strings, so that I can maybe try to put, I hear finished tracks in my head when I'm writing. So it's all just about music.
Will any of those 300 songs make it to the album?
12 of them did make it to the first one, but the next one probably not. I think if they ever do get finished, it'll probably be more for sync, but there are a lot of songs in that batch that I love a lot, but I'm writing music currently that is more grounded in where I'm at right now as a person, so it's probably going to be just music from now moving forward.
It's a two-part question. What is your best moment that you can recall on stage, and what is your worst moment?
I'll start with the worst because it came to me fast. It's tough though, because even my worst moment, like, I still learned a great lesson from. A couple of shows ago, we were playing a brand new song that we had just written, and it was a risk. I knew to play it because we'd written it like the week before, but we loved it so much, and we were like, let's do an encore with this song. Like, let's play them a new song. And I had practiced it so much, but when the time came, I started it and everything was going fine, and then somewhere, like, it starts with just me on the piano, and I have the click in my ears, and the guys don't come in until like halfway through the song, and I just couldn't hear very well. Like, something just wasn't right in my ears, and I got off the click, and I knew I did, and I heard the bass part come in, and I was like, I'm off, and like, I have no clue where I was because it was just me and the click, so there was nothing to give me bearings to know like, oh, I can just slow down and catch up, or so I was just totally off, and it was the only time I've ever had to stop the show and like restart a song, and it's like it's always been my like worst fear, and then I restarted it, and the worst part though was I didn't know what happened and how I got off, and so I was so scared to restart it because I was like, you can restart a song once and get away with it, but you can't really restart a song twice. And so I was just like in my head, like, oh my God, like listen to the click, like you better stay with this because you can't, like you literally can't restart this. And so I made it through, and it was great. And it honestly, even though it was like my worst fear come to life, it still was a good experience because it wasn't that bad. And even when I fell on my face practically, it was like there was nothing but like love and encouragement from the audience. And so it's just one of those moments that like the things that you fear the most are not usually real things. And and then we had in our show last week, the stage power blew at the end of our first song, and our rig went down, and we had like three technical issues back to back that were none of them are our fault. And I again like was like, what is happening? But I just was like, this is those times that you really just think into being a professional and lean on your practicing, and I entertained while they figured it out, and it happened.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
The show must go on, always.
It must go on, and thank God we got it back up and running, because I'm not sure how it would have gone on with no instruments. But it got back up and running. My best moment, two bests, I would say. My first best would be the show that we played in El Paso. It was a show we did in partnership with Khalid's foundation, the Great Khalid Foundation. It was a show that was benefiting the victims of the Walmart shooting.
Yeah.
And it was like probably our first show that was really, really packed. And I got to feel what it was like to play for a packed house, and that was just the last special. And I think what I said earlier, being able to hear everybody sing my songs back to me, and like that was just like a moment to be like, they know the words to this, like they're listening to this, like something I'm doing is connecting with somebody, and that's very, very cool, and that's all we can ask.
Here's this one. What is your favorite song of yours to actually perform live? Do you have one?
That's tough.
I know they're all different, but you know.
They are all so different. Can't believe no one's ever asked me that question before. Man, I would say it's a song that you've not heard yet, and I'd say every night I really love playing this song called Lion's Den. So yeah, it's a little bit more rock, and it takes me vocally to the stratosphere, and it kind of just has the full range from pop to rock to operatic stuff. So it's fun for me to be able to like expand in all those places.
Cool. Is that a song that's going to be on a record coming up?
Yeah, it's going to be on the record.
Awesome.
I would come out.
Love to
yeah,
hear
and
that.
it's got off one of the music videos we just shot. It's got
anything else you want to let our audience know about you? Definitely an honor, like I said, to have you on the show. Hopefully in the future, you know, when I get back to like a radio show, an actual radio place, because I was in a radio station.
Where are you now?
Right now, I am in deep South Texas, which is close to South Padre Island, way down south.
Some of your favorite local rock bands. Do you have a good scene down there?
We do actually. There's all types of music down here, but we are like 5 miles away from the border of Mexico. But yeah, definitely a lot of music down here that we're trying to expose to the world. You know, like through the show and everything.
I'm from Houston, so I'm also a Texan.
Wow, that is so cool! I didn't know that. Well, you need to have a show down here somehow. We gotta make that happen.
We are due to come back to Texas. I hope at some point this year.
We'll definitely be in touch and see what we can work out or something. Maybe get you down here somehow. I'm working on my album for my band called Ivy on Scars, and and hopefully I'll be out there soon. And maybe we could do some shows together.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Follow
Absolutely.
on all of the places and check out our stuff so you don't miss the album release. It's a
Definitely.
It's a little piece of a big piece of my heart. So come and listen and watch and be a part of the Purple Cult.
Anastasia Elliot on the show today. Thank you for joining us, everybody. That's all right. Well, comments. Thank you so much for being on the show. We definitely are honored, and we will definitely be in touch with you. And thank you guys for tuning in. Rockland Revolution. We will be back this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. Make sure to follow Anastasia Elliot, guys, on all platforms. Definitely worth the listen. And yeah, Mark says, hell yeah, from Chuanu. We'll definitely get you guys connected and see if you can go on his show sometime. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys. Rock on.